Welcome back to the Real Estate News. With me now is Geri Colucci with Equitable Property Management. Hi, Geri.
Hi, glad to be here.
Oh, me too. So we have got a riveting conversation for you all today.
Yes.
Geri and I have been talking about preventative maintenance. And, we were talking about how that's not necessarily the sexiest part of property management, but it is a vital part. So what brought up this conversation was we were discussing the weather, right, Geri, and the storms. And if you can kind of enlighten us of what your week has been like because of these storms, I think that's a good kickoff point for us.
Well, I guess there's a good analogy with having to replace tires on your car. $500, $600 and it doesn't beautify your car.
Right.
However, if you don't do it and you get in an accident as a result, you wish you had done it.
It costs a whole lot more than $500. That's right.
And that's what preventative maintenance is on a rental home. You have to do preventative maintenance to maintain the integrity of the property. And right now, we had a huge storm last Friday. We had 4 flooded apartment complexes. We also had a lightning strike on an air conditioner. So it is really important to think about preventative maintenance when you are buying a rental property. One of the most important ones actually are gutters. If you have a single family home, it is worth the investment to put gutters on the house and divert the water away from the foundation of the house.
Sure.
Most of our houses are built on slabs, and so water can seep in between the cement wall and the slab. So it's good to divert the water and run gutters and downspouts away from the house.
Absolutely. Well, I'm giggling as you're saying that because we just talked about my passion for gutters, so I completely agree with you. So now, beyond gutters, what would you say would be the next most important thing to maintain or prevent,
the integrity of the house? The next most important thing is the central heating and air system.
Okay.
And the reason that is, people think it's running, and so it's running, no big deal. However, it's a very intricate system, and it does need to be maintained, and we require of our property owners that they have an annual maintenance contract, so at least twice a year, a professional air conditioning company will go in, they'll check the drain lines, they'll check the drip pans, they'll check the filters, and make sure that the system is working to capacity, because the last thing you want is to have a leak through your ceiling because your air handler is leaking.
Absolutely.
And this is another sort of unattractive thing. You have to pay the money to do it, but you save yourself a big headache in the long run having to replace sheetrock and paint. And it also is advantageous for our tenants because if we have an inefficient or poorly working air conditioning and heating system, they pay huge electric bills.
Absolutely. Well, and it makes the property less desirable on several different levels.
It does.
So a little bit of investment on the front end saves you a lot of hassle on the back end, would you say?
Absolutely. And the vents with the air conditioning, when you have an air conditioning system, there are vents running all through the house.
Sure.
And on occasion, we will tell an owner, there's an odor in the house, they didn't have any pets, and so we'll want to have the vents cleaned out because they build up with a lot of debris.
Sure.
Even dander from dogs can get pulled into the air conditioning system.
So just part of keeping a home healthy and happy and clean and smelling good for the tenants.
Right. And for the resale of the property.
Sure. Now, we touched briefly on earlier about landscaping. Can you give us some ideas of what would preventative maintenance be as far as landscaping goes?
Well, landscaping, grading is very important. Now, we get houses to rent that are, of course, completely done, landscaping is in, and usually there's not a problem. However, our community associations are very strict about landscaping being maintained, and shrubs grow very, very quickly here because of the water and the heat. So they have to be maintained every 6 months. They have to be trimmed. And what's important is to trim it away from the roof of your house. Because if we have a big storm, you might have a branch fall on top of the house.
And once again, small expense to get a bush trimmed, large expense if it crashes into your roof.
Exactly.
Well, I'm so grateful for your time today, Geri. This is such helpful information, and for everyone that hasn't followed this advice, I know they're cheering in the background. I wish I would have done this. And for those of you that have the opportunity, go ahead and take care of this stuff now. Especially getting ready to go into, we've got hurricane season, so we want to make sure that we're good for that. So thanks for your time. It's always a pleasure, Geri.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.